projects do you want? And then you come back and you say you have a wish list of whatever. Joe will go and he'll evaluate any road for what we believe needs to happen before we'll chip seal. And I'll get to kind of, this is a prime example why we get involved. Then before, so he'll send a report back before February, before township meeting. You can have any questions. He'll get your report back. He'll be at the township meeting. Anything you want to know will be there. By May 1st, you got to have your road ready for us to chip seal, or it just goes on. We're going to start a chip seal program earlier this year, so you got to have your road ready so we can schedule. So what I've learned about this road, and I was not here when it was put in. I've talked to Joe and I've looked back at records. My understanding is, and I don't know if you guys know this or not. Do you know the history of this?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to hear what you think.
This is what I believe the history. This is my understanding is the turnpike was doing their bridge. This was a bypass route. Now the homeowners, the township, and Butler County kicked in money for this road. Is that correct?
Not Butler County.
Not Butler County. Okay. That's my misunderstanding of that.
Other than the fact they did a little bit of work.
Or the turnpike kicked in money. I'm sorry.
The turnpike did
The
the turnpike did not kick in money for the chip seal. The turnpike added extra gravel when they were rerouting.
Okay.
The Santa Fe Lake was
There's a chute
closed,
line.
and this was
Okay.
a detour, and so they added extra gravel when this was still a gravel road.
Okay.
But they
So this chip seal did not come as a direct result of the turnpike project.
kind of.
Kind of, but
It was a byproduct.
okay. Okay, either way. So with that, my understanding is we came out and we said, okay, this is what we need to have for this to be built up. The township built the road, built the base ready for the chip seal. Is that our understanding?
Pretty much.
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
It was a very quick
Right.
turnaround. Like a couple, 3 days, and that's all we had as far as the township to work on the road to get it ready for chip seal.
Okay.
Right, there was no stabilization.
Right, and
The-
that's
the profile of the road wasn't there. The drainage wasn't corrected.
okay. And I was talking with Joe, and this is why we're so, I guess, involved of why we need to make sure that the roads are built to a standard. You know, that the township do what we need them to do is because of this. Who made the final decision? I have no idea. And honestly, we have to move forward. It wasn't Joe and it wasn't me. That's what I know. Okay, so on this road, to me, we have to move forward. And Joe, please correct me, jump in anytime I say something.
You got the floor.
So we have this road. Obviously, we have a drainage issue, a base failure here. So for it to get fixed, we have to dig. You have to dig out this area and put a new base in. Now, the best thing to do is put a new base in and seal it with some asphalt. But to do that, you got to make sure water gets away from the road. So you're draining this out, and then you got a wheel right here. And so this all has to get replaced, and then that has to be cut to make sure water gets straight off the road. If we just lay material in there, it's going to come right back. And that's kind of my point of us being involved. We want to make sure nobody's wasting money. So that is number one. The ditches, we have to get the water off the road. Number two, the places that are broke out have to get tore out and replaced. If we just smear some asphalt, it's not going to do anything. And then the last. Oh, excuse me.
Thank you so much.
Get a move on.
And the last part would be, and Joe, do you see any? And I don't know, are the trees farther down?
Yeah, they're almost at the end of the mile.
And if this was, trees are your worst enemy for any road. Them trees right there, them roots go under your road, and they suck out moisture. which destroys your road. If you don't keep your base in the same condition it was, then your road gets destroyed. So trees are the worst enemy. And so I believe the miscommunication came and even Joe and I talked, if he had this road and it was his decision, it's very close to what I would do. But if this was my road, trees are gone, ditches are cut. To me, if this was my, now I'm in a different place. We have to understand that I'm in a different place of budget with wants, that it makes more sense that I start over. I said that, but I probably shouldn't have, in the sense, it doesn't matter what I want.
Quick question on the trees. You're talking maybe taking all the trees back to where the power lines are?
Yes, that's what I would do.
Okay.
Yes, because the ones farther out, they're not going to have that big. But you'll see, and I don't know if you guys noticed during the drought, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you really start to see that on the asphalt. Anytime there was trees, you started getting cracking, and you've almost lost that base already.
How far back
Right.
we need to go.
Right. And power pole, that's a good, and that'll keep your road secure. So you get the water off, put it in a ditch, you get your trees back, your road's going to hold up. But the biggest part is we have to fix what's going on there, and just to smear stuff on, it's just not going to last.
So, just for the record, patching the current potholes and chip sealing over that is not a good solution.
Well, what are you calling patching?
She's
Filling
talking
it with-
surface.
filling
Surface patching. Right. No.
You need a full depth
Right.
dig out.
And that could be, when I'm calling patching, to me,
dig it
is
out.
digging it out.
Dig
and
it
putting
out.
that terminology.
Bring your base back up.
So we have to
compacting your
rip
base,
out the road.
Just in those areas.
Them areas.
Right,
In a compacted
those areas, and then
There's
it's
some
worse
farther
down
down.
there.
Yes.
Right, so we
Yes.
rip out the road, we compact that base, then we resurface.
And ideally, you want maybe 4 to 6 inches of asphalt on top of your compacted base. You don't want just right now you've got 3/8 of an inch twice, and that's not structural.
So the base you would use what?
AB3, some type of base.
What about a stabilizer, Joe?
At this point, I wouldn't worry about it.
Because it's. Do you think that the road's going to have more or an accelerated failure rate due to the cracking and the water that we've had?
Possibly, but a double chip seal on a fresh gravel road is never something that I would recommend.
Absolutely.
So then how did this get done?
This was above my pay grade. A whole lot of dudes did a whole lot of stuff that I wasn't in on.
Yeah.
And
Ma'am, it's not a public discussion. It's between the county engineer and the board members. It's a question and answer.
so yeah, without talking from there was stuff in Mike Craft's files. It didn't really go into. It had costs. It had kind of high level stuff. But your question, I don't know. And I've dug in yesterday. I just did a search on all my files, and there was nothing really telling us that.
So do you have an estimate on what it would cost to rip out a subsection of road?
Not without it. No, you're gonna have measurements and depths and all that.
Right. And are you guys doing it yourself? Or are you hiring it out?
Just have to be hired out. We don't have the capabilities.
Yeah, that.
It's
I mean, it
gonna
would be a whole.
costly.
So it's very costly to fix it correctly. What are our options to move forward?
It's either that.
That's the only option.
If you want this surface, if you want a hard, quote, hard surface, that's your only option.
If you're going with the chip seal.
Right.
If that's your ultimate goal.
So I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
The township has 2 other pieces of road in our township that the county maintains. They're paved roads, the county maintains, and we pay every year for
The roads are
those.
those.
Do you parallel up by
From
Prairie
30th,
Rose?
yeah, about a half a mile.
Okay.
The
south
Prairie
of
Creek, that
Gotcha.
one going
Gotcha.
back
And
in
then-
there.
Prairie Creek? Yeah, parallel and Prairie Creek. Yeah. So how did those get established? How did that program work? is that an option that we could look into for this stretch of road?
It would have to, because in that scenario we took over everything. Is that kind of?
Yes.
Yes.
So you guys do everything. We pay you once a year a paved road maintenance fee.
I don't know how any of those ever got established.
I don't know how they got it. I'm trying to think how we would do some and not the others, unless
We've
it
got
just was
that
a
all over the
random.
county, though.
I would have to ask.
And I don't know
I'd
how
have to
that
call Daryl on that because I really don't know how that got put into place.
Is there a county spec on the repairs that you're suggesting?
No, I don't. I don't have anything drawn out for the repairs. What I gave you, and that's what I gave you, is this: you're putting a development here, and they're chip sealing this. Before we turn that over to a township, that's the profile. That's the typical section that has to be met.
So there's a couple other chip seal roads in the county that are also having failing problems. Indianola, 80th Street. What are they doing? How are they moving forward on their roads?
They just
'Cause they're
continue
also a
to put-
disaster.
They just continue to put chip seal on them and waste their money. After I've told them that's not the way to go.
So continuing to chip seal this is a waste of money?
Unless you repair all these bad spots and get your drainage right.
And
Take the
What
trees.
happened right here is you don't have any way for the water to get off the road, and you got like an 8% crown in this road right here. And it's forcing that water off, and it doesn't have anywhere to go, and it's infiltrating underneath, and it just blows it up.
And Joe, and this is before I came. Did subpar roads get pushed through?
Yeah,
Yes.
all the time.
And that's all I can say is I mean, it's a different.
So we can all
department
agree
with
that this was a subpar road
Yeah.
that got pushed through.
Yeah, yeah,
Joe,
absolutely.
do you
yes.
think that the water where the failures are, like we've got places up here that are 100 to 200 feet and a quarter point failure, you think that saturation's under the crown as well and all the way across?
Oh,
That's why it's failing on both
absolutely.
sides.
Absolutely. I mean, without seeing it, without digging it out, I would say almost 100%.
Yeah.
Because if you go down this road and you see every spot that looks like that or similar, look at the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
You got a flat ditch right here.
Well,
There's no ditch. There's no ditch. I mean, that number one failure of a chip seal, a double chip seal road is water. Number one.
yeah.
If you can't get it off, if you get it off too fast, a big crown in a gravel road might be a good thing, but it's not for a chip seal.
And I think where you're going with, and that's a township decision. And we're saying what you have to do to chip seal this road versus what we would do. You know, if it was all
Ours and yours are two different scenarios. We're starting on an asphalt road, give or take, or a multiple decade patch seal road. That's a hard surface.
Right, but you know, my point with that is, if that water's under the crown, then
But
the
I
crown
can't-
needs to be repaired as well.
Honestly, let me backtrack that answer because I can't really answer that honestly without opening this road.
Right,
I can
but
just
if
go
it
by.
was,
I can just go by what I'm seeing. If it was, I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I don't know.
And let's just,
Right.
if it was, and you start you start digging it out, and
Right.
you see it. If it was our road, we would continue.
We would just keep going
Continue.
We would keep going until that's how we
until
would
we
do.
get down to something hard or semi.
So the other option, so we have one very expensive option to fix. The other option is to turn it over into the ground, which is going to be an absolute uproar. What am I missing? Like
I don't really
is there
know.
any other
There's
choice?
no other option because I mean even and the third option, which is not an option in my opinion, because I absolutely hate it, is the dust control on
Yeah.
gravel roads. I
That's
absolutely
that's-
despise that with a passion.
Throwing good money out
Yes.
the bad.
And so it's not really an option.
It's temporary
Yes,
at best.
but there's really not.
What's
So-
the traffic count rating for
I
a
was
gravel-
gonna bring that for
No, this
chip and
road's
seal.
like
For
300
a
to
chip
400.
seal road, it's
Yeah.
250 cars a day.
So this road is 300 to 400 cars a day.
Yeah,
Too much.
Last
it's
time
too much.
I
It's
checked.
It's
overwhelms the
370.
road.
I looked at that. I was thinking it was about 375 is where I thought I saw it.
Yes.
Last I checked with, I think it was with Ergon or APAC, they told me it was between 250 and 300, so I lean toward the shorter end.
APAC says 250 cars a day.
Don't
max
quote me on that.
Yeah, okay.
That- I can't remember who I was
250 to 300
talking.
cars a day on
Or
jet
375.
We're still exceeding the amount. Right.
So what's the best surface for the amount of traffic that we have?
Asphalt.
And
That's a tremendous amount.
You've got an expensive option and an unpopular option. That's basically kind of
It sounds like we have two
facing.
expensive options or an unpopular option.
yeah.
Asphalt
So
would be a whole lot more expensive.
Yeah, what was it last time I checked? Like $1 million a mile or something like that.
Yeah, because you're putting at least 5 inches on this thing. If
After
you're not
you
getting
get,
trucked.
after you
and two
get your
lifts.
base
And two
fixed,
lifts.
because you're not asphalting over that.
And that 5 inches is back to your treated subgrade. That's just not on a
Yeah.
gravel base. That's a
Yeah,
treated.
on asphalt, you got
Fly ash
you
line.
got to
Fly something.
ash it and all that.
Yes. And even on our section, and this is just what we do, is we put a geotech in there too, because replacing asphalt gets extremely expensive. Trying to fix asphalt is a nightmare because all you're doing is chasing it forever.
You just-
So you spend the
Drag
money
it on
up
down
front
the road, yeah.
and you do it as best as you possibly can, which is stupid expensive.
Well, we don't have $1 million in our budget, so like that's out.
I don't think you're, like I tell all the townships, you see this, I don't think you're near as bad a shape as you are. I don't know what your budget is. This was my mile of road, we would just fix it. I mean, I know our budgets are not similar, but I mean, you turn it back to gravel and I guarantee you these people over here are gonna raise all kind of. That'd be the quickest and easiest.
Our budgets are two different things.
They are. And that's why I shouldn't have said what I said of this is what I would do. It makes no bearing.
We're asking for information from you. You guys are the experts.
If you want to go back with chip seal, you got to fix those spots. You got to get your drainage right. You got to get as much trees going as you can.
There's no really way to tell until you start repairing and making the repairs. Because
Without
you're gonna have to
cutting
keep
into
going
it.
until you're out of the mud underneath the road.
Honestly, that bad spot right there, it goes all the way up there.
Oh yeah, all the way past the police
Because of
car.
that
You can see
tire
the
rut.
rutting.
You put
The
the
rutting.
rut.
Yeah, you got to see it over the hill.
Yeah, I drove it.
Okay.
I've driven it multiple times.
So to cut a ditch, you could probably just angle the blade, get it over there, and cut a nice ditch over there.
If you got enough
Well,
room to
you-
lay
I
it
mean,
back.
Ted, you're the blade operator.
Yeah, we don't have the room.
Cleanest
we're gonna have to
way,
export
cleanest
material.
way to do it's all the way,
Yeah.
which requires excavator backup, whatever.
Okay.
Other
Do
thoughts,
you have any other
questions?
questions?
To move forward, if you just got to start measuring. You got to start measuring, and then you can get hard costs of if you stay within the, paint it, measure it, and then you say if you stay within the boundaries, and you do, aggregate, asphalt, labor coming back in and add 25%
Easily.
for who knows what. If I was going to estimate that's
If
how
I
I would
was
do it.
estimating, I would start at a foot deep, about however wide, and then your length. A foot just average, because you don't know. I mean,
How deep that is.
Yeah. You may have to go bigger than a foot. You just get in there until you find out how bad it is, or how good, how much better it is than you thought it was.
Yeah, because that usually happens.
It happens sometimes.
I have a question for the board. Yeah. Has it been entertained for us to do something similar was done the first time, where work is done and the county's repaid either the following year or over multiple years? That way the county can do the work that's outside of our budget, and we set up a 4 or 5 year payment plan.
Not that I know of.
I don't think we don't have the ability to do that.
And I was going to say that wouldn't be a me decision.
Yeah,
That'd be
it.
a
But
commissioner.
it's your commissioner
I
decision.
can't.
Well, that's
I
what-
personally can't.
Yeah, that's why I was
carry
asking the
that.
board if they've approached the county, because that's what they did the first time. The town, as I understand it, the township was short about $10,000 in funds because of some overages the prior year. So the county finished the payment, and the subsequent January, I think it'd be of 22, The township made the payment to the county for this work that was done here to make up the shortage.
Do you have any more questions, Samantha?
I mean,
Colin, do you have any more questions? Gentlemen, thanks for coming
Yep.
out.
Yep.
I'll adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Curtis.